I think my little sister could have came out of that fight cleaner. Who taught you how to fight?
Your mom. Besides, don't mess with me. I've been through a lot, right?
All right. Talk about my mama getting them black the other eye.
Sir, that's what you think. Besides, I'm too much for you.
Pause. Look, I'm gonna go get you some ice before that thing swells up. Put on the game or something while I go get it.
Watch your cartoons. Yo, this is your father?
Yeah, that's him.
Yo, I really wish I could have a relationship with my dad like this. But man, you're gonna be a great dad one day, you know that?
I'm not so sure about that, but thanks.
Come on, seriously? You come to me when I'm in need? That's something a father would do. What's wrong? Come on, I know you're fat, but you're gonna sweat. Like, what's good? What's wrong?
All right. I know I haven't told you much about my personal life, right? But
Because you're boring.
I don't get beat up though. But look, I'm gonna be real with you. That picture you saw was the last picture me and my father ever took before he divorced my mom. My mother didn't know any English. She had no job, but 3 kids. My pops just up and left. I mean, I guess that was better than seeing him beat the hell out of my mom all the time, though. And I remember this one time, we had a 2-bedroom apartment, and me and my brother and my sister, we shared a room. What we would do is we would take our mattresses and lay them on the floor, and we would all sleep together every night like that. I remember this one night, it was about 10 p.m. I woke up because I heard the front door slam. It was my father coming home. I saw him walk by my room, his keys jingling at his waist, go straight to him in my mom's room. The door slams and locks. The next thing we hear is the yelling and screaming of my mother getting beat up. Me and my brother and my sister, we ran to the door, and we did everything that we could to try to get it to stop. We yelled, we screamed, we kicked. We banged on the door until our hands hurt. When he was done, he just swung the door open and walked out of the apartment without so much as looking at us. My mother was laid out on the floor. I was 6 years old when that happened, and I was also the oldest of my siblings. We were homeless for a while after that, going from shelter to shelter because not even our family wanted us in their house. My mother was working 2 jobs, cleaning houses, and going to school full-time to support us. I remember eventually we were able to get our own 2-bedroom apartment. And it was great, man. Me and my brothers and sisters, we thought we were kings and queens, but that's because we didn't know any better. We didn't have any furniture in the apartment, and more times than not, my mother would go to sleep hungry because we had no food. The little we did have, which usually consisted of a cheap mix of hot dogs and tomato sauce, she would give it to us. I had it really rough growing up. The struggle I saw alone was enough to make me not want kids of my own. My father came back into my life a few years later, but he didn't love me. He infested our minds of negative thoughts of my mother and told me and my sister that we weren't his kids, that only my brother was his, and he didn't know where we came from. I remember this one Christmas, he called my mother and he told her, get the kids ready, I'm going to take them shopping. I was hyped. Not because I was going to go shopping, because I've never really been a materialistic kind of person, but because I was going to spend time with my dad. All I wanted growing up was a father to show me what it was to be a man. That's what every boy needs growing up. But I was brought right back down to reality. My father came and he picked us up and drove us to the mall. He told me and my sister to wait in the car and took my brother shopping for 3 hours. He came back, gave me and my sister $20 and drove us home. I have stories for days of the father that I loved that didn't love me. What I didn't realize, though, was how much that relationship was going to affect every other relationship I would ever be in, from family to friends to girls. Nothing was ever going to go right for me. Everything I went through led me to be a very introverted kid growing up. My first real girlfriend, man, was in high school. I guess you could say that relationship was doomed from the beginning. I picked stupid fights about just everything, and I didn't treat her the way that she should have been treated because of my own insecurities. I yelled and I screamed because that's what my father did, and I cheated because that's what I saw my father do. I relied on my friends to keep me grounded, and in my head, they were all that I had. If I could just get accepted into their circle and just be with them, I can formulate and form the family that I always wanted through them. But the abandonment issues and the insecurities that I still held on to was never going to be enough. As time passed by, the circle of friends that I relied on grew smaller and smaller, and eventually I was standing there by myself. I continued on a journey into manhood alone, forced to become a man without a man to look up to, forced to become a man without a father to show me what love is, without a father to teach me. Every time I would look in the mirror, I would see my father, even though we looked nothing alike. It wasn't until years later that I met God that my life changed. And now I'm changed because He changed me. And I'm surrounded by a new group of friends. And I can love my family the way that they should be loved. And I can treat a woman with respect and love her for who she is. Now I look in the mirror and I don't see my birth father. I look in the mirror and I see me. But most importantly, I look in the mirror and I see God in me. What is God? God is love.
That took way too long.
That's why you always get beat up. You see, look, let me tell you something. I remember I went to see a play, right? It was by this guy who I'm sure was saved. And one of the lines he said, I'll never forget. He said, "It is in the midst of chaos that you find the truth to your soul." And I really believe that it's in our brokenness that God transforms us into the people that He wants us to be.
Oh, so you got a sensitive side.
All right, that's enough. Let's watch the game.
All right.
This only lasts for so long, so we do not touch them. Understand? All we gotta do, make sure our premise is clear. Fabulous. Okay. Now we got our next destination. Okay. Hello? Are you listening to anything I'm saying to you? Halo, what's wrong with you?
I never had a father.
There. Look, no, we don't have a father, but we have God, and He created us, right? And He looks after us too. So, let's...
I know that, but what about hugs and kisses and mushy stuff?
What's wrong with you? Anyway, back to business. We got our next mission. And where's your I-7? Please, where is it? You don't ever check it.
No. I like it when you tell me where we're going.
Anyways, we're heading off to outside East Tremont. Girls 19. That's all I know. You ready?